Hello, good morning to those of you who it's morning. It's morning for me. I know I look quite tired, and I will get into that in a minute. But I had a pretty good week so far. And weekend, oh my gosh, I haven't recorded because I've been tired and yeah, I don't know. Haven't gotten to work at a good time or just wasn't really feeling it. But I'm making sure that I at least record once a week because I don't know. It's just a personal, like, I don't want to do less than that. And tomorrow I will be busy before work. I have an appointment, so yeah, I was like, well, I gotta do it today. But anyways, this past weekend I was hanging out with a good friend of mine, and I haven't gotten to see her in a while. It's actually been about a year, slightly less. But that was nice. I haven't really hung out with anybody except for my partner since before Christmas, like November time frame. So it was good to do that. But I don't know. It's sorry, work people texting me, and I'm like, is this important? Do I need to respond? But we got to hang out, talk. It's always nice to talk to somebody that, like, you don't feel like you have to filter yourself. Like, I know the way my brain is, I just buffer and have to process things, and apparently that's really amusing to some people. But it's nice to not feel like I can't talk about the things that I want to talk about, or if I just say something, I'm not going to be judged for it. Or if I am, it's in like a loving way, and we can laugh about it. But it was good to spend some time with somebody new, I guess, new to my schedule at least. And it was the first time that I've been away from my partner for a while, actually, a few months at least. So I wasn't really sure how that was gonna go as far as like anxiety and traveling, with sensory issues and just change in general. But it went a lot better than it could have. I ended up having some like not great gut issues the one day, but other than that, I was able to sleep. Like sensory wise, I was okay. So all in all, I'd say that was a win. We went swimming in the pool, and I like absolutely had to shower. But I feel like you really should shower after going to the pool. It's just kind of gross. But anyways. But it was nice also because my friend was like, we forgot it was St. Patrick's Day weekend. And we were in Ocean City, and everybody was drunk by 3 p.m. It was crazy. But I'm not surprised. It's Ocean City. So we didn't go out after like 8 o'clock. We got dinner in the hotel because the hotel actually had a really interesting looking dinner place, and it was inexpensive and delicious. We got pasta. And we ended up like watching Up, and I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that movie is, but it's the kids cartoon where the house like flies away with balloons and there's a talking dog, and it's very, very funny. Very much like a turn your brain off kind of movie. It's a little sad here and there, but it's a good, just, it's supposed to be a feel good kind of movie, I think. So yeah, it was nice to just go to bed at my normal time, because the night before we'd kind of stayed up late talking, and so I feel like I did better. Gosh, I keep my ringer off most of the time, but then I had people yell at me, like, oh, you never answer your phone. So, but I turned it off now for the podcast. But it's like, I don't know, keeping closer to my normal schedule helps me adjust to all the other different things that were going on. So yeah, but overall it was good. I was going with somebody who I'm very comfortable with, so I think that helped a lot too. As far as like anxiety, I wasn't anxious about any of the social interactions really. And then when I got back from that, we stayed at my partner's house, which is not what we normally do on a Sunday night. So then I drove to work from his house, and then it was just everything was different this week. I think that's just thrown me off. And I was also just tired. It did wear me out, I would say, even though I tried to keep on like a very similar schedule. It was bound to do that. But not to the point where I was like hating life or anything. But then it was just back to normal work. Nothing crazy happened. But then last night, today's Wednesday, well, yesterday was Wednesday, today's Thursday. I went to a concert with a friend of mine, because my partner has been working, kind of late, and he gets up super early. So he was like, I can't go. He was away at an airsoft event over the weekend, which is why I was going away, to see my friend anyways. Because I just like, oh, well, if I'm going to be on my own anyways, I might as well go see some friends. And so he was like, I can't take off to go to this concert in the middle of the week, and I can't go to work the next day if I go to that concert. So I went with a friend of mine that I have not seen in probably over a year-ish. Yeah, probably over a year. And so I was a little bit nervous about that because I haven't seen them in a really long time. And they had just gotten out of a kind of a shitty relationship. Just not ideal situation. And I really wasn't able to have any contact during that time frame. I saw him once when they were like not doing well, and then they got back together and wasn't allowed to see him anymore. Purely because he had a very possessive girlfriend. But again, I don't like to judge people. It's not really my business, but I feel like that's unhealthy for everyone involved if you're dictating who somebody can be friends with. I get, boundaries are important, but no contact is a bit weird. It's extreme. And that's one thing that I have told, I've only been in like 2 long-term relationships. However, each time I'm like, I have to clarify and set a boundary for me that is, I'm not going to stop being friends with my friends for you. I know that I have, well, I think it's a bit ridiculous because I am bi, so it shouldn't matter the gender of my friends. They could equally be a threat if you want to put that there, if you want to make that a problem. But I'm like, I've been into long-term relationships with men, and I've told them I have friends who are male, and I'm not going to stop being friends with them for you. That's just ridiculous, and I won't do it. I will set boundaries with people, healthy boundaries. That's totally fine. We can talk about it. We can talk about whatever, if it makes you uncomfortable. You can be with me, but I'm not going to stop being friends with them. So, I talked to my partner about going to this concert with my friend. I asked him, hey, do you think, is that cool with you if I go? Not that I need to ask for permission to do anything, but I wanted to do that, just because I didn't want there to be any tension. So, I asked, and he was like, yeah, of course. So, we went to a concert last night. My friend actually came by where I work because I work closer to where the concert was going to be, and then we just Ubered from my work. It's better than trying to find parking in DC, and the parking at the venue had already filled up before I got tickets to the concert, so I was like, nah, I'm good. But it was a really nice time, and I just don't do midweek stuff because I am a sleepy person and I value my sleep. But it was really nice to get to talk to my friend. We got to talk about a lot of different things. I was told multiple times that I am very entertaining to talk to, which I think is funny, and apparently my awkwardness is also very entertaining. Primarily my awkwardness is what is entertaining. That, and I just apparently have a very monotone way of talking, but I'll just drop random wacky things, and it takes a minute to process what I just said, and then it's like almost like a shock value thing. It's not, occasionally I'm aware, but for the most part it's not intentional. It's just how I talk. Yeah, I don't know. But it was really good because at the time that I met this friend, we both had a lot of shit going on and just were not in great places in our lives, and it was nice to commiserate, I guess, and have a few moments where we weren't alone, but it was definitely, not ideal. And so it was nice to get together and be like, wow, we've really come a long way. We've grown up, we've made better decisions, we're taking care of ourselves better, we, are learning to love ourselves and not have to constantly seek that external validation, or for me it was a lot of self-medicating just to get through the mental gymnastics that I was having to go through with everything going on in my life and family, and when I say self-medicating, I had a medical cannabis card. I know I've talked about this before, but it's been a while. So it was technically prescription but I call it self-medicating because there was no like instructions, and I basically was some level of high for like 4 years. So it helped me get through a lot, but I quit like 6 months ago, or no, more like 8 months ago now. And it's just been better for me, I think, generally speaking. Got nothing against it. There's definitely been times where like I miss that. I'm not necessarily never gonna try it again. I probably will. But I just don't want to use it as a crutch like I did before. And I think it's really healthy that I have grown without it. But it was definitely useful for what I needed at the time. But it was really nice to get to talk to somebody that, knows a fair bit about me. We spent a good amount of time together. We worked together, and then we'd hang out occasionally after work, or like just whenever we'd get together sometimes. So it was nice to reconnect, and it was kind of funny though to hear like all of the different things about me that this person remembered, or just like, I don't know, apparently just like things about me I wouldn't necessarily pick up on or notice because I live with myself. I don't get to see things from other people's perspectives. I don't get to see myself from other people's perspectives, so like I don't get what's so funny about me. But I also know that like I know when I'm weird, and I know that I've got a lot of quirks, but it's just not normally pointed out to me. So like, so obviously. And also, it wasn't like my friend was making fun of me or anything, but it was just kind of funny to have those things pointed out in a friendly way, and be like, oh yeah, I guess I do that. And it's nice to be appreciated for the unique way that I am. And I guess he was saying that I don't really give myself enough credit for things in general, but creativity and just other positive things about me, I guess. But again, I just don't really think about it. I'm just living my life. I don't know. It's not really something I think about that often. But maybe I should occasionally. But I think that's what's good about having friends, is that they can help you get a different perspective. But the concert was really good. We went to go see Jack Kays. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. Probably not, because he's only, like, this was his, like, first full-length album tour. And apparently he's from DC. Didn't know that. I saw him originally when he opened for Pierce the Veil in Pennsylvania, and so that was pretty cool last night to find that out. But it was my first, like, punk rock show, I would say. I've said before, I grew up very religious. The only concerts I went to were Christian rock festivals and rock concerts, and so it was very different. Not in a bad way. I mean, I still had fun, and it definitely shaped the type of music that I like to listen to. However, I don't really listen to any of the same artists, and so it's like there is a bit of a disconnect with, I didn't really grow up with a lot of things, so I don't have that same nostalgia. And when people ask about like what are my favorite concerts, I'm like, I've been to a million concerts, but I don't listen to those artists anymore, so it's kind of weird for me. But I mean, I have been to plenty of concerts since then, but Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite. I had a lady ask yesterday. We kind of adopted a mom. She was like, I used to teach the drummer, and I can I get a selfie because we were standing right on the bar, like on the second floor barricade area, whatever. And so she was right behind us. She was like, can I get a selfie at some point during the show? We're like, yeah, sure. We ended up being able to like squeeze in and let her stand next to us when he came on, anyways. But it was kind of funny. We talked to her for a little bit. She was sweet. But it was a good show. Being a home show, I hadn't, the crowd I think was more in tune. And I think that was really nice because I was like, oh, he's probably going to be kind of small. Like, who knows about him other than people who have seen him open for other stuff? Like, who else would be here? So, figuring that out, I was like, oh, that makes sense. The whole place was, like, pretty full, I would say, by the time he came on. So, there were only a few people that were being, like, loud and obnoxious. But, with alcohol, there's going to be some of that. And then you'd have other people around them saying, shut up! So it was funny. But it was good to see like a different side of things. It's definitely like sadder music. Not sad, but like, just like real shit. Definitely. A lot of like childhood nostalgia kind of stuff, and like wondering what you did like with your life and looking back on things. That a lot of the songs are like that. But it was really good, and just talking about real problems that people deal with. So it was nice to kind of see there was a bit of community too. It wasn't just a punk rock show. And they had some, unique aspects, I would say, to the show. He did a Katy Perry song and got people moshing to a Katy Perry song, which is hilarious. And then it's like, I guess his thing, he doesn't have any hair. He like shaved all of his hair. And so at the concert, apparently they normally like shave someone. Like they just pick somebody out of the crowd that obviously is consenting and wants to. And they shave their head on stage. And so they ended up having two people do that. And they shaved each other. It was really funny. But yeah, never seen that before. That was new. But yeah, it was there was, a quiet moment to talk about a friend of his that had died of an overdose, and had raised money and did a music video and everything for people struggling with addiction and getting them help. And so it was really a well-rounded show, I would say. They had a little bit of everything that I feel is important to a good experience. So I not like I'm critiquing or anything or like rating, but I would say it was definitely a good show, and I'm glad that I went, and I wish my partner could have been there too, because I think he would have really enjoyed it. But I didn't get home until 11:30-ish, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I got to bed till midnight. So I'm definitely feeling it. Not quite as much as I thought I would. Sometimes when I don't get enough sleep, I have a lot of anxiety in the morning. It's just like my body's like, what are you doing? You should be asleep. So, Instead, I just felt a little groggy, which I can deal with that. The anxiety is really what annoys me and then makes it hard for me to function. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I think it was because I didn't drink or anything. Like, I just don't really anyways. And I didn't feel the need to. So, especially midweek, like, I'm just, nah, I'm good. So I definitely think that helped. I just went home and slept, and yeah, I got like 6 hours of sleep, which isn't bad at all for most people. So, but I didn't have anything to talk about when it came to like neurodiversity, other than the fact that apparently my neurodiverse quirks are enjoyed by my friends, and apparently they are quite obvious, and my friend just kept talking about how much he missed the weird person that I am, being so secluded in his little isolated world that he had built for himself over the past couple of years. And yeah, I don't know, it made me feel good. It's like, oh, you know, maybe I do have something to offer. I'm not just like, you know, I don't know, I don't really think about myself that much when it comes to like how other people view me or what I offer in a casual friendship situation. I just don't think about it, so it was a kind of a different perspective to have. I think it just goes to show that like my brain gets stuck on things, and I don't really tend to see like the full picture most of the time. So, but yeah, I don't know. I do have to get to work here. I knew I was going to be kind of sleepy today. To be honest, I've been kind of sleepy all week though. So what's new? I'm just going to go to bed at a good time tonight and try not to forget that I have an appointment in the morning, because that happens all the time. It's not a regular enough thing for me to have it as a habit, and so I gotta get up extra early tomorrow. I don't wanna. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I will have some more neurodivergent training videos, or like coaching education videos that but definitely not until next week. I'm gonna do some more of my class tomorrow, and then I'll have more content for you guys. But all I want to say really is be yourself. People enjoy it, actually. Yeah, there are times where your neurodiversity can cause problems. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm saying this for myself. But people enjoy being around people who are different. I know that I don't like being around people who I feel are boring, because they don't really have, you know, either they don't have stories to tell, or the way that they say things isn't engaging, or it's just small talk. There's no like depth to anything that people are saying. Like there's so many different aspects to communicating that be weird, be quirky, and communicate differently, and it's okay to stutter and pause and buffer like I do. It's okay to be who you are, and people, the right people, will value that, find it funny and engaging, and want to be around you. And it's really a disservice to yourself to try and form yourself into who you think other people want you to be. It's not helping anybody. And it's really just hurting yourself. And, the people that enjoy you for who you are. And I think that it's better to maybe rub a few people the wrong way being yourself than to try and hide everything about yourself because you're afraid that some people might not like you. Because no matter what, nobody's gonna have everybody like them. And it's just, don't you want to be around people who want to be around you for who you are? That's what I'm learning, and what I'm trying to accept, that people do actually want to be around me for me, and that's nice. And there are people that want to be around you for who you are, and it shouldn't be an arduous, painful process. People just will want to be around you for who you are if you just put it out there. I know that it's scary and sometimes people are mean, but I think it's worth it to find the few people that are gonna be lifelong friends because they genuinely enjoy your presence. And so that's all I gotta say about that. It's so hard to make friends as a neurodivergent person. It's so hard to keep friends. But it can also be really rewarding, and yeah, it's it definitely is a good part of life, and you don't have to have a million friends or feel like you have to be hanging out with people all the time. Work within your limits and boundaries, but also people want to hear from you. It's even if you don't know what to say, because that's me most of the time. I'm like, I don't know how to start a conversation. I haven't talked to this person in months. What do I say? Hey, thinking of you. Like, yeah, that's all you have to say. You don't have to say anything else. And you're not bothering them. And if you are, they're not really your friend. But for the most part, you're not bothering them. I'm not bothering my friends by reaching out to them. But my brain will kind of trick me into thinking that. So, I don't know if you guys experience that, but I know I do. And trying to break that a little bit. Trying to just be, I don't know, trying to love myself and realize that other people like me too. So that's cool. Yeah. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and that you guys get plenty of sleep, because I sure wish I did. And I'm definitely doing that tonight. I am so excited. And I hope that you guys remember that you are enough.